MVP, but he has his fifth offensive coordinator in 6 years now. From Doug Peterson to Steichen to Brian Johnson, Kellen Moore, and now Kevin
That's just
Patullo.
NFL. Getting good like
I ain't even talk about college yet. What, Shady?
Are we still celebrating this?
Does it hurt?
Love hurts.
Does Jalen's success hurt? Y'all get it?
Kevin
That
Patullo.
boy's mad at my boy, man.
Shady, new offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts, his fifth OC in 6 years. But will the new OC be a good fit for Jalen Hurts?
Defending champs. Jalen Hurts. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't really think it matters. I don't think it matters. I'm being honest. Have you watched all the coordinators, man, that the Eagles have had since he's been there? It don't matter what their styles are, philosophies are, if you want to throw the ball, run the ball, whatever you want to do. They come in there and they fit to Jalen Hurts' playing style, right? You come in there, you're going to see a lot of runs. You're going to see a lot of quarterback-driven plays. You're going to see a lot of RPOs, right? A lot of play actions, everything that fits his style. Yep. So I don't care who you bring in there. When you come to Philadelphia, the defending champs, go to the defending champs Philadelphia, man. We need you to fit the offense for Jalen Hurts.
That's it.
Even like, Kellen Moore, right? First of all, shout out to him for he was on my team when we won a championship. He's now with the Saints. But if you watch his offense with the Cowboys, with the Chargers, they look way different than the Eagles. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. So no matter who you bring up in Philadelphia, it's going to be the same results. It's for Jalen Hurts.
It's easier said than done, though.
Chase, does that hurt?
Hurts. It's easier said than done to do that, though. And I don't think Kellen Moore, first of all, gets enough credit for how he did tailor his offense to Jalen Hurts. Because Jalen, he has a certain way that he plays the game. And you have to be able, like Shady said, to tailor it to Hurts. So, sure, it's a good thing. He's familiar with him. He was in the system. You couldn't go outside the doors because it was too late in the process to hire another OC. But there's going to be an acclimation period between these two that are going to take some time. And that's going to start in OTAs, organized team activities, in June and July. That's going to start in training camp. And it's going to go into the season. Because if you remember, the Eagles started 2-2, right? And they were throwing the ball 35 times a game. Bye week, week 5, and then week 6 after that, they think they won like 17 of 18 games or something crazy number. And they changed the offense. And they changed the offense to make Saquon Barkley the focal point. And at times when Jalen needed to beat you, he did it. Yeah. And he did really well. No bigger game than the Super Bowl.
Come on now. Come on.
But with a new guy who has never called plays before in Kevin Patullo, it's going to be more difficult to actually put your spin on the offense to see how you're going to fit within it. So I don't think it's a bad thing or really a good thing for Jalen. I think there will be some growing pains with this early in the year until he finally understands, because he's calling plays for the first time now. Let's not forget that, right? And you got a bunch of all-pros on that side of the football. Yeah. It's going to make things easy on him. But he's going to struggle at first, I'm sure. There's going to be an acclimation period. But I think as the season goes on, he's going to get used to it.
Yeah, players win games. Players make plays. And when you have a lot of them and you have all-pro players, that makes whoever's job calling the plays really, really easy.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts has had 5 offensive coordinators in the last 5-6 years. That's a lot of offensive coordinators. And Jalen Hurts has looked the same.
Right. Right.
And that's just the facts. And whether you think it's good, whether you think you like the way he's throwing it, whether you think it's average, whatever it is, Jalen Hurts has looked the same in all 5 of these dudes' offenses. Whether it's a couple touchdowns here more, couple touchdowns here more, couple interceptions, he's looked the same, and the results are the same. He's been to a Super Bowl. He wins football games. That is what it shows with 5 different coordinators. So to me, I don't think this is a big deal. You have an all-pro, one of the best players in the world in the backfield. You have 5 of them in front of you on the offensive line. You have a good quarterback. You have 2 of them on the outside. You got a really good tight end. It's way too much over there, in my humble opinion, for an offensive coordinator to come in here and mess it up.
Right. And the defense is crazy.
Too good to fail.
It's way too good to fail. And the defense, like Shady's saying, don't give up nothing. So you can win games next year, 2 scoring 17 points.
Right.
100%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's going to really matter.
And like as much as we talk about Jalen Hurts, there's times when we throw the ball to Saquon, man, he go for 60 yards in the first play.
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
We don't give Kellen Moore that credit.
Right. Like it's
Can't give Kellen Moore that type of credit.
The Eagles may look the same, but who doesn't? The Golden State Warriors. They look as good as they've looked all season, their last 2 games, winning them by a cumulative. Should you be traded, or should you simply stay on the team you are currently on? 2-5. Let's start with Tyreek Hill.
Oh, man.
Moving, keep it quick, but Tyreek, trade or stay?
Trade. He's too good. He's still one of the best. And we can't see it because quarterback is always hurt. Go to a good team with a good quarterback. Get him out of there, man.
Yeah.
We talking about the cheetah, man.
Yeah. I'm a 2-5 on this one. I think you got to trade him. I mean, he wants to be traded. At least that's what he wanted at the end of the season. He's since recanted some of those statements on different shows, but we've seen, I believe, the ceiling of the offensive prowess of the Miami Dolphins. Now maybe try to retool that team a little bit. I think you trade him.
Trade him. Get him to a contender, a legit top 5 quarterback. Make sure that he plays with somebody that can get him the ball consistently. Look what he did with Patrick Mahomes. I know that one year he had with Tua. Tua's been hurt. Concussions, all this stuff. Trade him. James, this better be a freaking sweep.
Absolutely. It is a sweep. Trade him. And I'm going up there just letting the team know, hey, it's the Green Bay Packers, or I'm going to the Washington Commanders.
Washington Commanders. Yes.
Daniels, and
yes.
Who knows
How about
what
the
can
Chargers?
happen from there. The Packers or the Commanders.
How about the
Chargers won't be
Chargers?
bad neither.
Next one is maybe the biggest domino that needs to fall, at least contractually. Micah Parsons.
Oh,
He's going to make the
my
most money of any player in NFL, defensive player in NFL history. Shady, what's your Cowboys?
Trade Micah. I'm tired of the Cowboys. I'm tired of freaking Dak Prescott caused them wins in the playoffs. I'm tired of ownership. Even have a conversation about trading. Why would you trade your best player? Since you're talking about it, trade him. He's too good for the Cowboys.
You don't get better by trading future Hall of Fame. You just don't. I don't think the Raiders got better.
Then why they talking about it then?
That's what I'm saying.
Get
rid of my boy, man.
Trying to get leverage.
He's got to stay. He's got to stay.
You don't trade, it's stay. You don't trade a foundational piece, a bedrock of your team, one of the best players in the entire NFL. Trenches, we talk about it. That's what Philadelphia Eagles won with, right? Offensive line, defensive line. You already lost your guard, Zach Martin. Don't trade him. Stay.
Don't let your pride get to you. All right, rational decisions here. Do not trade Micah. It's a stay.
Too
Come
good for
on,
them,
this is
Dave.
a Hall of Fame player,
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame talent. You
Well,
drafted him.
treat him like that then.
There, I'm with you.
Don't complain about no podcast. He's the best player on your
playing
team.
around and keep that
Deal
man
with it.
there.
Hey, well, speaking of dealing with
it.
things, you got to deal with DK Metcalf's penalties because he gets one seemingly every other game. But Shady, should the Seahawks trade DK or not?
Listen, I'm all for today. Great players get out of here with these bad teams. Trade him. You playing with Geno Smith, man. How far can he really go? You talking about all these penalties? He's frustrated. He's pissed off. Who I want to play for the Seahawks?
Always an
And Geno.
I would trade him for different reasons. I would trade him because I think his stock value is still high, but DK Metcalf, he's not putting out the same production, at least as it pertains to impact on a consistent basis.
Why is that? Who's his quarterback?
You can say it's Geno,
quarterback?
but I'm going to say this. He should get traded.
Trade him now because you still have value within him. Okay?
Yep.
He's making $24, $25 million. He's going to want a new deal. He's an unrestricted free agent next year. So instead of letting him hit the market, trade him now, get a second, third, fourth round, whatever you're going to get out of him, actually get something from him. I would trade him.
I say trade him too because he's not the number one option over there no more. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's the number one option. That's who Geno is throwing to. So either the quarterback good or not, he's looking for Jackson Smith. So I would say trade him, get some value for him, let him go to a good team. Because you got a number one and a number two in Jackson Smith and Jigba, and you still got my man over there,
I don't.
Tyler Lockett.
I don't think they want to pay him.
Hey, lastly, GP, are you with me? George Pickens, staying or being traded? 2-5, what you think?
Let my dog stay, man.
Yeah.
Because they love him, right? You gonna get the ball. Gritty. He plays gritty. He plays tough. Steelers, they play tough. They play gritty. Stay there.
My answer switched after talking to Russell Wilson at the Super Bowl. Now I'm with Shady. It's stay. George Pickens, he's such a wild card to me that I'm like, yo, can you win with him as your number one? Not talent-wise, but can you win with him as your number one? The volatility of him. Russell's like, look, I trust him. We work well together. I'm going to say stay.
Yeah, volatility is interesting, but you got to stay. He's the only guy they got, in my opinion, right there. And if you have someone that can get him the ball, he's not just a go route runner. He can do some other things. Get within an Arthur Smith offense. You got to stay. You can't.
Hey, we had a couple sweeps.
3 in a row.
Couple sweeps.
I'm saying stay, and I think the best place for him is Pittsburgh. The best coach for him is Coach Tomlin, right? Not just on the football field. I think this is bigger than on the football field. This is mentally as a person, all of that. I think the best place for him is Pittsburgh. He stays.
So Shady mess up our only four-person sweep.
It happens like
Who was that on?
You, Micah.
Oh, yeah, I speak for the superstar players. Y'all get it.
Hey, well, speaking of superstar players,